Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome back to another episode of the Upgrade Podcast. Today I'm joined with my good friend, Mr. Reham.
What's going on?
Won't be his whole government name. We're talking about the importance of finances and everything to do with saving money, important investments, crypto, all of that, all of those shenanigans. First of all, I just want to say we're not financial advisors, so please don't take our advice seriously. I'm in crippling debt. No, I'm not.
Great way to start.
No. I blame university though, but we'll get into that. Yeah. So
we'll start with the importance of financial well-being. So, what is financial or good financial well-being? What does that look like to you?
To me, it kind of looks like having a rainy day fund. Having a healthy amount in there. Having a secure and stable job which is bringing you a sufficient income. You can also have lots of different other things as well. So in our generation we call them side hustles. Could be anything from drop shipping or whatever's out there. Can't list them off the top of my head, but basically you need to have like a constant flow of passive income as well as having regular income as well. Enough for you to be able to provide for like a family, if you have a family, to pay off bills and also have like a little bit excess at the end of the month, so you're not exactly spending all your money. To me, that's what succumbs. That's what I see as a good income. That's what I see as a good financial well-being situation, well-being. Yeah. What does it look like to you?
Pretty similar. I wouldn't. My bad.
Anyway.
I wouldn't. What do you move your knee? I'm not gonna touch your knee, bro.
Bro. It's calm. It's okay, my friends.
Don't do that.
No. Carry on.
Yeah, so financial well-being. So my take would be a bit different. I wouldn't include passive income. Like, I feel like there are too many videos and like trends saying, oh, you need 18 multiple streams of income. I think that's overdoing it a bit. I think you can still be in a financially good position, just having a good career and being able to manage money well. For me, that's the main thing. If you can't manage your money, you can have a great job, you can have multiple streams of income, but if you don't know how to manage your money, then you'll still end up living paycheck to paycheck.
That's very true.
Possibly be in debt.
Yeah, I mean, I think the bit that you mentioned about not having a source of passive income, right? I kind of disagree with you a little bit, but that's also because we live in an expensive city, kind of. I think, especially with everything that's going on with the whole cost of living crisis, not to get political or anything like that. It's just, I think, in today's day and age, where it's costing people nearly their whole bank account to even buy a house, or even settle into a house, I think it's important to have an extra side income or generating a passive income whereby it will make you more comfortable. Essentially, that's.
I would agree. I would agree in the sense that if it's passive in the sense as in you're not having to do much, like what you mentioned before, the side hustles, you're still having to put in effort. But if it's something like a savings account or like stocks and shares and all that stuff, that is actually passive. That's you actually doing nothing. But having a primary job and then having a side hustle on top, I'm not saying that's bad. You can do that if you have the capacity to do that, but I'm not saying I wouldn't say it's necessary.
No, I agree, but I think it's always good to have. It's always good to have as a contribution towards a rainy day fund. That's the way I think anyway. Obviously, maybe with me, I don't have that yet because I'm still working on that, and it's part of my progress every day. But I think in order to be, it really depends on your situation. Really, if you're living in London or if you're living in God knows where, in any capital city where in Europe where it's expensive, I think it's not essential, but you kind of need that extra income, at least to give yourself some comfortability, whether it's paying your rent, paying off mortgages, shared ownership houses, whatever it is. You kind of need it, especially if you have a family as well. Like, these things are really, really important to take into consideration. So I think when it comes to having like a sort of passive income, it's very circumstantial. Obviously, if you're motivated by money, then it's a different story, right? You're going to do everything you can to obtain the most money possible.
That's true.
But I do hear what you're saying when you say that you don't exactly need. It's like an extra thing that you don't necessarily need.
It's more important to know how to manage money. Like I was saying, you can have a great salary, great income, but if you don't know how to manage it, then you're just going to end up with zero at the end of the month.
Yeah.
You get eating beans on toast. So
it's not a bad meal, though. But yeah, no.
You have to know how to actually manage the money. So a lot of people say, obviously, we weren't taught a lot of these things in school when it comes to money. So that's why it's important to educate yourself on how to save money, how to do things like budget, how to invest your money. Those sorts of things are the things you need to do your own research on and educate yourself about.
We are going to navigate topics now, but I hear what you're saying. So I don't know why I did that, because you were talking about sort of money management, important investments. So I thought it was a good idea to transition onto like some sort of important investments that you can make in order to generate some extra income, whether it's for the long term or the short term. I think in this case it will be for long term because, well, that's the route that I'm going to go down anyway. I think it's essential to sort of not just have like a savings account. I think it's kind of important to have like we were talking about earlier in terms of passive income when you're not doing anything, right? So that's where like investing in stocks and that's where investing in crypto comes in. Obviously I'm no like I said, I'm not a financial advisor, but I think the safest bet right now is to put it into like an index fund or like an S&P 500 fund, because it averages around 7 to 8%, 10%, whatever it is, annual returns. Put some money aside per month, whether it's 50, 100, 150, something like that. And you don't touch that. You're not meant to touch that money. That's meant to be your, not retirement fund, but I guess it's like the money when you really need it the most, I guess.
Long term. In the long term.
Yeah, money you'll need for the long term. So I think when it comes to utilizing things for passive income, things like trading 212, Binance, Coinbase, I think they're all good, especially because we're moving to like a very and crypto is really important as well. I think because we're moving towards more of like a digital phase of life, if that kind of makes sense. And now one of my friends out there, I won't mention his name, but we're colleagues, but we're also friends. He got me invested in this crypto thing, with a crypto called Fiero, and made some decent money off of it. So. But he was emphasizing the importance of how like people aren't really using cash much nowadays. They're more so using their card to tap into things. Although you do see like people that use cash. Obviously, because everything's moving digital, you got these NFTs which I don't really understand much about. And crypto itself, like in some places you can pay with crypto. So it's essentially what I'm trying to say is it's kind of important to not place all your eggs in one basket and have them in multiple, but obviously invest at your own risk because your capital is always at risk. That being said, the conclusion of what I'm trying to say is that don't put all your eggs in one basket. Crypto's a decent shout, especially now. I think Bitcoin's hit like something ridiculous again.
I'm not as big on crypto. I understand the reward you can get from it, but obviously with good reward comes equal risk. So with everything, even with just normal stocks, always do your own research. Don't just take someone's advice saying, "Oh yeah, I got loads of money for crypto, bro. You should try it." Like, do your own research first. But things like index funds, like S&P 500, like without being a financial advisor, I think it's safe to say like that's a good investment.
Because
put your money in.
I was just gonna add onto that and say like with everything that's going on in terms of inflation right now, I feel like, and the whole sort of theory of what goes up must come down. Obviously, before I say this, I'm not a financial advisor. To say this every 5 minutes in the video, don't we? The whole sort of thing that's going on in terms of inflation, like your money's always kind of gonna increase unless there's like a stock market crash or something mad happens, or the economy goes down the chute, whatever happens. Like the S&P 500 is always like a safe bet, and there's probably other index funds out there, but I haven't done enough research on them to know what's actually good and what's not. But Tesla.
I mean, right now it's not bad. I don't want to go into like talking about stocks and stuff. Right now it would have been a good buy, but that's lost me a bit of money. We'll move that aside. But I just wanted to focus on managing money. Most people, they have one job, but they don't know how to manage their money. They live paycheck to paycheck because, like I said before, we weren't educated about these things in school. And I can't remember. You mentioned something about university. Even in university, you're not really educated about these things unless you choose finance as a degree or economics or something like that. You're not educated on these things, so it's important that you educate yourself. But when it comes to managing money, like, what's the word? Acquiring the best income, best salary you can possible, and relating that to uni, I think it's important to choose something that you know will give you a good career. Obviously, if that is your goal, if your goal is money, then make sure you're choosing something that you know there's a clear path to go into. Does that make sense?
No, makes sense. It's like having that. Just to summarize what you're saying, it's like having that stability. I guess what you're trying to go for there.
Yeah. Because I think in some cases, I would say university isn't worth it. In some cases.
Yeah. No. I usually we do the whole good cop bad cop thing for the podcast, but I think university is it's a good experience, but
unless it's something very specific, then
you don't need a career for it.
There's not much benefit from. You can skip university and still end up making
good money. Yeah, because I know there's loads of people out there that didn't even go to uni or didn't even finish their secondary education off, and they're making better money than me and you and everybody out there in the world.
Yeah.
But obviously I can't name a few examples off the top of my head, but like at the end of the day, I think university nowadays anyway, apart from if you're doing medicine or maybe something a lot more generalized, dentistry, all the sciencey shit, it's not really worth it in the end, because at the end of the day, like in terms of careers, you've got these like internships and degreeships coming through where you can just earn money while you learn, and you know all you really need is the A levels or the BTEC Barry or whatever you want to do. BTEC, sorry, not BTEC Barry. BTEC Barry is what I used to call a guy in school because I was very stupid. Yeah, but yeah, in terms of university being worth it, I think a lot of people nowadays go for the experience rather than actually sort of going for their career. Me being me, I didn't really think about what I wanted to do at uni at all. I think
now in the moment I feel like you choose, I'm going to enjoy studying this. So
but then you don't think far ahead into the future, and I think that's the sort of consequences of being in that position when you're very naive and you're young. Like you don't think about the career prospects and you don't think about what's going to get you the most money, unless you live in like a very, I don't want to say strict household, but unless you live in like a
more, I would say more not strict, but more financially intelligent. I get what you mean by strict, like minority parents will be like, oh, do medicine, do law, do medicine.
Yeah.
But I think if your household is more financially inclined, then they can direct you to, what will benefit you in the long term.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, like is university worth it? But building on what you're saying. Sorry, I can't remember what my point was. What was I talking about?
Families and choosing university.
Yeah, families and choosing university degrees. That's it. Thanks. I think it's a lot. I think when you're at that age and you're 18, in your head you're thinking, oh, I'm old enough now. I can choose whatever I want to fucking do. You're not. Get advice. Really get advice, unless you want to do something that's so specialized like medicine, law, accounting and finance, whatever. Don't go to university and study philosophy. Don't. I mean, like it's worked out well for me. It's worked out okay, but in some cases more than others it can't. But I think getting back to what we're saying, the whole concept of having these internships out there where you can earn while you learn, and also which offers a foot in the door essentially, and with progression as well. It's kind of, you kind of got that upper hand of university. Whereas I feel like if you don't go to university, you kind of miss out on that life experience, but you're going to get it anyway when you're older.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? You're going to have that financial freedom, whether you look, not financial freedom, but that freedom essentially when you're older.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think most people nowadays just go to uni for just the healthy maintenance loan that they get.
Yeah.
That's another thing I want.
So, I wanted to go into that. So on the topic of university, that's the first time you kind of get a big sum of money, and obviously most people never having been taught about money, they kind of end up, obviously you have to pay your rent, pay your accommodation and stuff, but for the large part it gets wasted.
It does get wasted.
Going out every single week, or the pressures every single day. You don't know how to
sorry carry on.
But you don't know how to again manage that money, and you just end up eating bread for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I think that, again, I'm going to keep saying this is really important that you educate yourself when it comes to finances. But I don't know, for me, because I had this conversation with my friend in, I think it was first or second year, and I would say I've always been good with money. And I said to him, when we got our maintenance loan, I didn't go crazy and buy anything because in my mind, that wasn't my money. It was given to me as a loan.
You're going to have to pay it back, innit? So, yeah.
So in my mind, it's like, it's not my money. I'm not going to do anything with it. But I know everyone else was buying Canada Goose jackets, designer clothes, new shoes, all that stuff. So obviously I could see that people didn't know how to act. Like, they got a bit of money, they're like, okay, let me do the absolute most. But you have to realize the positions that it will put you in. And the people, even after uni, people still do that. They get paid at the end of the month and then they go crazy. And then for the next 3 weeks, again, it's beans on toast. So it's just like having that bit of mindfulness and thinking forward, thinking about like how the decisions you make now are going to affect the future. And I think that starts when you're a bit younger. So when you're from uni, when you get that first bit of money, I think it's important to realize it's not yours, it's something that you're borrowing. So it doesn't make sense to go crazy with it.
You can no. I hear what you're saying. You can kind of put a positive spin on that though as well. Like, you get what I mean? Like, you spend all your maintenance loan and then you're broke. So you kind of have a lesson there for you. It's like, don't spend your money, don't buy.
But more often than not, people don't learn from the lessons. They just stay in those cycles, and then they come out of uni and then stay in that cycle of, I've got a good sum of money now, I'm just going to spend it.
Yeah, I think I'm very guilty of that as well in terms of my maintenance.
I think it's having, especially when you're older, it's having goals with money. It's having financial goals. If you don't have any financial goals, then you're gonna look at money as, oh, this is something I've got. Now I have to spend it. You're not gonna look at doing anything. You're not gonna look at investing. You're not gonna look long term. You're gonna look to the future.
I think that's what I wish I had when I was a little bit younger as well. When I got my maintenance loan. I know we had a conversation about this as well quite a while ago. I feel like I should have invested it. Do you get what I mean? I obviously, when I came out of uni, like, I had conversations with my older brother about, like, investing, etc., etc. But I never had the advice that was given to me in terms of investing the excess on my maintenance loan and using it when I really needed it. And it's only when I came out of uni, I was gonna start earning my own money. My brother was like, "Oh yeah, go invest in this and this and that," and it's good talk, good advice. Why didn't you come to me 2 years earlier then? That being said, don't even want to say one piece of financial advice, not financial advice. One thing that I would say is that if you're willing to invest it into stocks and shares and ISAs, if you're getting a healthy maintenance loan this August or September, whenever they drop.
That's true.
Yeah.
Or the other thing, you can, like, people hear investing and think of crypto or stocks, but you can invest it into yourself. You can invest in different courses. You can invest in your learning. Like you were saying, with the degree apprenticeships, learning and learning. You can take the money you have and use it to invest in skills that you think will pay off in the future, or invest in a qualification that you want to obtain to do a job you want to do in the future. It doesn't have to just be that tangible, like crypto and, if I put my money in here, then it's going to go up. You can invest it in yourself and invest it in learning.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think investing in yourself is important. One thing I want to very, very touch upon briefly, right? Do you think it's worth using that maintenance loan to invest in yourself in terms of your appearance? So when I say appearance, I mean, like, obviously not buying Canada Goose jackets, but I mean, like, going for like teeth whitening or anything like that. Because that's what I did.
Your maintenance.
So I was like, I want to look good. So I got my teeth whitened.
You are hilarious.
I got my teeth whitened and I paid like £180 for it. I was like, fuck.
It was only 180.
Or £200, something like that.
Yeah, but that's not terrible.
Yeah.
But I still wouldn't, because maintenance loan, you're between 18, typically you're between 18 and 21. And I think it's important to invest in your appearance because I think you have to understand that your appearance does affect how others perceive you,
Mm.
and then that's going to affect.
Even though it shouldn't, but yeah, carry on.
It shouldn't, but that's how it is, and that's going to affect how you interact with the world. So, invest it in more simple ways, like not shortcuts like teeth whitening or go to Turkey, get a hair transplant or BBL or some bullshit like that. But just invest it in more practical ways. So invest it in skincare, invest it in a gym membership, invest it in, I don't know, hair care products, like not designer clothes, just fresh, clean clothes, so you look presentable, so you look good. You don't have to break the bank to dress well.
No, you
so
don't.
Get some good
nice coloured tees from Primark,
clean clothes, well fitted. So yeah, I would use the maintenance loan to invest in yourself, but I think
moderately.
So even people after uni do this, and this is another aspect I wanted to touch on in terms of managing your money. It's lifestyle inflation. So
it's like when you earn more money and then eventually you spend. Yeah.
So going back to it, the uni is the first experience of that. You get however much money you get from your maintenance loan, and then because you've got that money in your mind, you're like, okay, now I've got this to spend. So your lifestyle is going to inflate. Then you start buying the designer stuff. Then you start going out and buying bottles and tables and all this nonsense. So in your mind, you think, because I've got this money now, I can live the lifestyle that you want or live a better lifestyle, whatever it is. But it's still not within your means. So that's an important part of managing your money, is living within your means.
Yeah.
If you can live below your means, then, and just, have the things that are necessary, then that's going to be even better. Especially if you've got financial goals, then you can reinvest the money, and not even reinvest the money, you're just not wasting money. But at least you should live within your means.
Yeah.
But to me, it might have seemed like I was living below my means because I perceived maintenance loan as not my money.
It's a good mentality to have.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
But moving away from uni and going to, general population, working population, they get that money at the end of their month, and then their lifestyle inflates. They'll spend a week going out, going to different restaurants and stuff, and then it all just comes back down. They're living outside of their means.
I mean, I think it's also kind of important to remember as well, like, maybe it's not good to say this. I was about to say money comes and goes, but like that's such a stupid thing to say. Although in some situations,
it does.
Yeah,
I would agree. I
would agree, but like obviously with doing
within reason.
Within reason, yeah. Like if you're going on like I don't know, like I'm gonna use myself as an example. Like this month I was, trying to set aside a little bit of money, blah 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 blah. I was going on a stag do, and was gonna cost me more than I usually spend on a night out. Maybe on a night out I'll probably spend like 30-40 quid, 20-30 quid, sometimes a little bit less. Ended up spending a lot more, but then obviously I had a conversation with my brother, and he was like, "Oh, don't worry about it, man. Money comes and goes. Like you enjoy the moment, but obviously don't do that too much. I mean, enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I get you. I feel like if you're doing it to a point where it's gonna put you in a bad situation, then obviously it's a bad decision. Like if it's your last like £400 and you've decided to go out and spend £350, that's obviously a bad decision.
Yeah. So
it comes and goes, but obviously understand the situation you're in.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to say. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, but enjoy it in your own means, basically. But yeah, to answer the question, is university worth it? Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not, man. Like, don't get me wrong, good 3 years, but financially I was broken. Because I did have a smart person behind the scenes telling me what to do with my money, but it came a bit too late. And to be honest, I should have taken the initiative upon myself to actually go do it. But yeah, university probably only worth it if you want to do medicine or you want like a specialized career.
Yeah. So
I'm kissing my teeth.
With lifestyle inflation, how would you combat it?
It's like what you were talking about in terms of living below your means, right? Like, me being me, like I've got big boy money now. So sometimes like one of my hobbies is Pokemon, innit? So I'll spend maybe like 20-25 quid on like a Pokemon tin, and you know, sometimes some people may see it as like a future investment, but it really depends on what it is. I'm not going to go talk about Pokemon, otherwise I'll be able to talk for hours. But like, obviously for me it was an investment because I know this product it could be worth something in about 5-6 years time, so I'm going to leave it unopened. Getting back to what I was saying in terms of lifestyle inflation, it's all about sort of managing your money. Like, you know, recently anyway, I've kind of been shopping at charity shops instead of like going to like Lacoste where I usually do. I feel like a dickhead talking about this right now. I feel like
no, you're good. No, but the thing is, you have to put across your good financial decisions and your poor financial, especially your bad financial decisions, because that's what you're going to learn from.
No. So I said it was a charity shop. It wasn't actually a charity shop. It was my place of work was having a sale to raise money for the institution or charity or something like that. I'm not sure. And everything was like £1. And I saw this like nice blue fleece for £1 and I bought it.
Yeah.
And I wore it every day this week, but apart from today. Because it's like a jacket in it, and to me that's kind of living below my means, because usually I'd spend like maybe 20, 30, 40 quid on a new item of clothing, but I don't really buy clothes as often, so it's kind of hard. But I think what you mentioned about living below your means is very important. You can't really spend money where you can't spend money.
Where you can't afford it.
Yeah. You can tell I'm really bad with my money the way I'm speaking in this podcast. But
no, it's fine, but you improve over time, because that's what I'm saying. We weren't taught these things. You kind of just have to figure it out for yourself.
Yeah, I think lifestyle inflation is a bit of a tough one, isn't it? Because I think I was just gonna say me personally, but if I was earning more money, then I think I would indulge a little bit more. But at the same time, I would try and keep it limited. Yeah. It's like I don't usually let's say you know XYZ. I'm earning 1,500 per month, which you know these I'm not, but these are like just random figures.
Yeah.
If my pay went up by like £500-600, I wouldn't see the bad sides of going for a massage every month, basically. Because
that's lifestyle.
That's lifestyle inflation.
As that creeps up, and you're like, cool, I've got a little bit more money, I can spend a bit more money.
Yeah.
But I think a good way to combat that is, I don't know exactly what it's called, but to get into a more financially stable place, to manage your money better, you can follow the rule of spending 50%, saving 30%, and investing 20%. I think
50, 30, 20.
Is that it? 50, 30, 20?
Wait, so what is it? Save 50, spend 50, save 30, invest 20.
Invest 20,
yeah. It's the 50, 30, 20 rule. It's like how breaking up your salary. Yeah. I've heard of that before. We've had the conversation as well.
Yeah.
But carry on, sorry.
So when it comes to lifestyle inflation, I feel like you need to learn how to budget. And I think that for me in uni, that's one thing I learned how to do. It's like, I need X amount for food, I need X amount for travel, I need X amount for hobbies. So you're delegating certain amounts to different areas of your life. That's essentially what budgeting is. A lot of people don't know how to do that. They're just like, I've got this sum of money, let me spend it. You're not putting it in different areas. And that's one thing that I find so sneaky about, what's the word? About just people, basically companies that sell things. They'll send you emails on maybe like the final week of the month. I mean, like they'll send you emails at like payday's coming, payday discount.
Yeah.
So they'll try and entice you
to spend your
money. They know that you're getting paid at the end of the month. So I've literally had it from places like Gymshark and whatever corporation. They're just like, or even for Black Friday, it's like end of the month sale, because they know that's when people are getting paid. So they like it's a trap essentially. It's a trap essentially. That's why,
this whole 9-to-5 lifestyle is a trap. This is a whole separate topic.
Let's not get into that.
It's a whole trap. You know.
Let's not get into that topic.
Salaries are drugs.
We can get into that topic, talking about financial well-being, entrepreneurship versus the 9-to-5. We can say that for another day.
Let's do it another day, man. Because I have very, very strong opinions about LinkedIn.
Yes, we know that.
Mentioned,
but we'll say that for another day. But in terms of not giving into lifestyle inflation and managing your money, I think that's a good rule to follow. 50, 30, 20.
The 50, 30, 20. Yeah.
Any percentage that you feel like is doable. If you feel like you can spend less, then spend less. You'll be able to save a bit more. And then to add on to that, if you have a financial goal of maybe saving up for a car, maybe saving up for a house, or maybe saving up for, X amount of months of rent, whatever it may be, whatever stage you're at in life, then that makes it easier to stick to that budget and stick to the goal that you have, essentially.
No, I agree. 50, 30, 20 sounds like a sensible rule. I was trying so hard to stick by it, and every time I got paid at the end of the month, I forgot about it, man.
Yeah.
I think money management, overall, I think what I've learned from today, money management is important. Having somebody is like not a mentor, but and also not a financial advisor, but having somebody maybe who's older and is better with money to advise you. And it's not good to sort of place all your eggs in one basket. It's better to do it here and there. But also lifestyle inflation as well, and living under your budget. I've learned a lot from you today. Anyway,
that's good. That's good. You need to, I think my overall message would be your money needs to have a purpose. If it doesn't have a purpose, then at the end of the month you'll be like, oh, I remember that nice jacket that I saw on an Instagram ad. I remember those jeans that I saw on a Facebook ad, or whatever it is. These things are going to come into your mind, and you're like, oh, I've got the money, let me just spend it. And then you'll just end up in the same cycle again and again. I don't really have much more to say on that. I agree. I think that's it when it comes to financial well-being. Don't spend your money. Spend obviously enjoy life, but live within your means, live below your means if you can.
I was going to say something about living below your means. I think one important message that I've taken from today, especially if you're not financially well off or if you're not financially secure, I think the number one golden rule for me would be to live under your means, because I think I'm very guilty of not doing that. But however, I feel like if I did do that, things would be a lot better. But yeah, it's important, especially if you're not coming from, I don't want to say the best of backgrounds, but if you're coming from a home that's not exactly the most secure, or if you're coming from, I don't know, a different country, whatever, save some extra money for your rainy day, and don't buy stupid things. Don't buy Lacoste jackets. Don't buy the North Face jackets. Just go Primark, go H&M, Next, Sainsbury's, Tesco's, all of those places.
That's the one quote.
Asda.
That's the one quote from Gary Vee that I like. And if you've got nothing else to say, you can end on that. But stop buying stupid shit for people that don't really care about you. They don't think about you.
Exactly.
I'm paraphrasing or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Gary Vee's also a very good guy, by the way. We'll get into him another time, though. I have a lot to say about him. He's a role model of mine. I like him a lot.
We'll end on a quote from Gary Vee. He says, stop buying dumb shit to impress people you don't even like. And I think that will solve a lot of your problems.
Sounds like you're talking to someone there.
Good. I'm talking to you. That will solve a lot of your problems.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, that's it for the podcast. We'll do the outro.
Of course. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's edition of the Upgrade Podcast. And we'll see you in the next one. Season finale. In a bit. Peace. Make sure you subscribe.